so I'm a fan of Critical Drinker. But he recently did a video about the South Park episode that poked fun at Disney and Kathleen Kennedy, and I thought he was off the mark. But I think it's important to have civil discourse, and prove the more rational side can respectfully disagree with each other. So in the video he said,
Believe it or not, it's possible to acknowledge that there's a lot of assholes out there who are basically impossible to please, but also that lazy appeals to social justice and identity politics isn't going to silence them. If anything, it's just going to give them more ammunition to criticise you with. Like I say, it's a classic example of South Park's ability to present both sides of an argument fairly, make fun of the most extreme and ridiculous elements, and suggest that maybe, just maybe, there's a sensible middle ground to be found. Screaming woke at everything with even a hint of diversity or progressive ideas is just as dumb and unproductive as trying to race and gender swap every single character in sight. What's interesting though is the reaction to what was actually a pretty fair and balanced episode, with both sides of the culture war instantly claiming it as their own. People on the right are like, yeah, we totally owned those woke libtards with this one. While people on the left seem to think, this whole thing was basically making fun of those right-wing chuds and they were just too stupid to see it. Honestly though, I see this as more of a victory for common sense and moderation than for any particular side. It's a win for the silent majority of normal people caught up in the middle who are tired of this endless culture war bullshit and just want some decent entertainment. Those are the people this episode is really meant to appeal to, and in that respect, it works perfectly.
I'm sorry, but that's a load of horseshit. Comparing the two to me is asinine. Disney decided for whatever reason to royally screw themselves after Endgame, putting out the most bush league, lazy, and woke garbage possible. Now there are two explanations for this. They intentionally did this because they hate their audience, or they're stupid and out of touch that didn't know they put out dog shit. Which, considering before that Marvel put out the most successful run of films in history, I find it hard to believe that they were completely oblivious to what they were putting out. In any case, they spit directly in their audience's faces. Now, I have never run a billion-dollar company, but one of the first things you learn about business is that the customer is always right. And when you're Disney, as close to a monopoly as there is, basically owning the most popular, successful, and beloved franchises of all time, your job is to appeal to the majority. You're not a niche or small independent company. You have to make movies for a broad audience. So when they decide to flip off the majority to appeal to a minority of woke weirdos, guess what? It's a strange thing, but people don't like that. They don't like divisive politics put in the most unsubtle way possible. They don't like it when you take their childhood heroes and turn them into sad losers. They're tired of all the girl bosses and Mary Sues and the complete lack of character growth, and making a mockery of the hero's journey. But bottom line is they took the most beloved stories and characters.
You blew it! You had it all and you blew it!
Fucking King Midas in reverse here. Everything I touch turns to shit.
And of course the fans were going to be mad, and have their voices be known, which I'm sure to the people of Hollywood it's distressing. And there will be people that will call everything woke. But to put these on the same level to me is, it's like putting the robber and the guy he shot in self-defense on the same level. No, the initial aggressor is the asshole and in the wrong. It's ridiculous. It's like the time Homer forgot to pick up Bart from soccer practice.
I know you're mad at me right now, and I'm kind of mad too. I mean, we could sit here and try to figure out who forgot to pick up who till the cows come home. But let's just say we're both wrong, and that'll be that.
Again, I like Drinker, but I think sometimes in the attempt to try to be fair to both sides, he comes off a bit like a fence sitter. I'm sorry, but this is a one-sided issue. But hey, no one's perfect, and to each their own.
Narratively, it's kind of a hard thing to thread. Like, what is your conclusion supposed to be if it's supposed to kind of end on a nice note and a lesson to both sides? Now, the easiest possible one I could imagine is, hey, maybe you need to both chill out, okay? And that's kind of what they went with. It's like, okay. Which feels weird. I saw some people commented about, like, how, isn't it so odd that, like, the message at the end is, hey, you people on your computers at home need to calm down just like the billion-dollar corporation needs to calm down. It's like,
no,
okay.
that's not how it
hard
works.
to take seriously.
And that's